This is the USS Betty Carter.
Betty Crocker.
Betty Crocker hailing the hailing Space Team Squad Station Sigma 7.
She was originally Crocker was originally
I am reading you, Station Crocker.
a space hero veteran.
Let the podcast begin.
What is your status? Over.
Status is
enumerated. Welcome all you geeks and nerds to Team Squad with our weekly comic review. Once again, I'm D Money. Here's Big J. Our buddy Diamond Dave out at Team Station number 6. How's the space station doing up there, Dave?
We've had a few upgrades, and it seems to be functioning halfway proficiently.
Oh, no.
We do like the upgrades.
Yes, we do.
So,
very theatrical.
Hope that it's enjoyable and will increase our functionality by at least 32.76%. And no, do not tell me to not tell you the percentages.
No.
We don't care as long as they're deductible.
Yes.
On my taxes
in mind.
Shall we jump right in?
All right, you ready for some reviews? Huh, people? Let's get at it. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Jumping right into it, we have Star Wars number 2.
Well,
Star Wars.
I wish that Jay could see my camera right now because I did manage to pick up the Han Solo action figure variant cover.
Very nice.
Han Solo variant cover.
Got it.
Yeah.
That really took me back seeing that.
We feel
yes. I'm so glad that they did something like that. It was spectacular.
Very cool.
Yep. Yep.
My great grandmother used to mail me those. She'd send an individual figure in the mail like once a month, and I'd get them. I'd be so excited to rip it open and see it in the box. And so cool.
And of course, you cracked it open right away, cool right?
Do what?
And you cracked them open right away.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was like 9 or 10. I just ripped those suckers open and chucked everything in the trash except the figure and the gun.
Yeah.
But at the time, it looked cool, but it was like, okay, let's get to the real meat and potatoes. Give me the figure.
Yeah, it's very cool that it's kind of weird that they did that cover because it kind of it's kind of the same appeal that the comic brings to people who know the original series. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like remembering.
Sure. It's a memory in our wheelhouse.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. So it's completely appropriate, because if you've been following the series, which this is just issue number 2. So if you haven't been following it, I really suggest you do because
indeed,
right out of the box, and It stars all the characters from the original trilogy: Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Darth Vader. So you got all of them in here. And this story, as we mentioned with the first issue, Star Wars number 1, it takes place right after the Rebels destroyed the original Death Star. So it's in between
Battle of Yavin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is the second issue right here. I really liked it. I thought it was really, really cool. Jason Aaron's doing the writing, and then Cassidy's doing the art. So it's an all-star team that Marvel's brought out, and I'm glad that they were both able to continue to do this. You got some very cool stuff going on here. You got a confrontation with Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. This would be like it's really cool to kind of see how dynamic it is between them because they still don't know who each other is, but they're starting to kind of get a little bit of a hint because this is before Empire Strikes Back, so and then you got Han Solo and Leia in here, and it's cool to see how those characters interact. So one thing about this comic is from beginning to end, it's blasters blazing, lightsabers slinging. It's pretty much action from
non-stop.
Yeah, pretty much non-stop action from the beginning to the end. I mean, there's a point where Han tries to smash Darth Vader with an Imperial Walker, and he just kind of, he uses the Force. You're not going to kill Vader like that. I mean, so but yeah, very cool. I think it plays very good tribute to all the different characters. CP3O kind of like has a
C3PO.
Wow.
Input the juice.
Input, yeah. Hey. He kind of has a moment where he can be the hero, but he doesn't, because that's not who he is.
3PO style.
Yeah. It plays true to his character.
Well, when does he ever do anything heroic in any of the movies?
It was kind of building up. Like, it was kind of like, oh, this is his moment. And then
plonk, 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 plonk.
Yeah. He didn't even put on the wrong leg when he woke up in the morning. Yeah. He's got one silver leg.
He's got one silver leg.
Dude can't even tie his robot shoelaces.
There you go. That's what you gotta just expect that from now on.
Something probably philosophical about the fact that he can speak 8 million different dialects. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that he can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's completely and utterly worthless when it comes to anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could say it's really a cliffhanger, but you definitely can see on the last page that Vader's had enough of this rebel crap. He's like, they definitely gotten under Vader's skin at this point. So especially Luke. It's kind of cool how it's kind of hinting at certain things that we know is going to happen. The Han Solo and Leia relationship, Luke and Vader, the whole drama between that. So, it's kind of...
R2 covered in cables.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got 3 of the main,
Yeah. So...
relationship.
Really cool, really good issue. I really enjoyed it. I know as far as progression with the story, might not have gotten very far. It was pretty much... I mean, where we left off from issue 1, it was pretty much like a really big fight,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still trying to get out of this super Imperial workstation,
Yeah, basically the heart of the Imperial armory.
Yeah, they're making all these badass walkers and like fighter ships and everything, and they're still trying to, basically save their own butts. But despite not having much progression story-wise, I do think it was cool. I thought it was action-packed. Yeah, give it a thumbs up. You should go pick it up.
I was kind of more meh on this issue. I do like the fact that Vader pretty much knows. He's got to have some idea who Luke is now.
Yeah.
He recognized his own lightsaber. It has to be his lightsaber, because he left it with Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan gave it to Luke.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it says, "This was your father's lightsaber," in the movie.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So he's got.
I did like that. I
know this weapon.
He recognizes his own craftsmanship. This once belonged to me, or Anakin Skywalker, or whatever he's going to say there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the one moment that I really enjoyed was ruined by a really bad line. When Luke is, he's tried to rescue these people and they're just getting blasted all to hell by the stormtroopers. And he takes a moment to just be like, oh, great, I've totally screwed up here.
Uh-huh.
And looks over and sees a speeder, which is, I'll get to that. But he says, yeah, I'm a farm boy, all right. A farm boy who can bullseye womp rats. That just seems kind of
that was a little bit hackneyed.
And really, we haven't gotten to a point yet when Aaron is coming up with his own. He's got these characters, playing with them in the sandbox, and all he's really done so far is show us stuff that's reminiscent of other people's work. He hasn't given us kind of new. There's a lot of homage here, and that's great if you're a fan. But the homage starts to wear thin, and you're like, okay, I want some interesting original material here instead of just, kind of trying to replay scenes from the movies in a way.
Indeed, yeah.
That's the problem that I had with it. But the art is top notch.
That's a very good point, but don't you think that that's almost risky? like trying to do things his way, as you know,
with beloved characters.
Yes,
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
it's tricky.
I mean, it could turn out great, but it's definitely not the safe route.
If he messes it up, people are going to be really mad.
If he messes it up,
I'm actually kind of curious what degree of
right.
I don't know what you would call it. Just approval that he has to go through with these stories. Like how many layers of checklists or how many different people he has to have check off on these stories to make sure that they're...
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, the comic was just released last month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in production, you know, like...
Sure, but how long have they had the license, these properties?
For a while.
Yeah, they probably were, when they sat down to say, what can we do with these things?
It's been a long time.
One of the things was the comic, and it may have taken them all this time to check all those people off that you're talking about. So
yeah, I mean, so maybe that's the thing. You know, he can't play real fast and loose with all this because he's got to make sure that everything lines up with the various canon that they've established.
Yeah, it's true. You guys both make very valid points there.
So,
Cassidy's art is great. Everyone looks like they're supposed to look like.
Sure.
They look like the actors. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dave?
A couple high points for me. One major one is the scene where Vader's sitting there holding his own lightsaber and his previous lightsaber.
Yeah.
Just ready to sit there and it is reminiscent of was it episode 2 where he strikes down Count Dooku with the double saber head slice.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And it's like what's he say? And then you will lead me to the rebel pilot who destroyed the Death Star and watch as I strike him down.
Yeah.
As the rebel pilot is staring him in the face.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a nice flashback there, and then you've got Han saving the day again with the big A foot. Mm-hmm. Boom! Straight through the ceiling, and things take off.
Yep.
It was a great sequence. Again, another one, like you were talking about with Luke's little thing where I'm a farm boy that bullseyes womp rats, but I do like that they incorporated the speeder bikes into it, and he's like, okay, cool, and I'll just grab one of these guys and just plow on through, and it was a great sequence, just
to be a Foley artist.
I don't know. I got a slinky.
Could star in Police Academy films.
Yeah. Those don't exist anymore.
Yeah, don't encourage me.
What do you mean?
No, they don't.
They don't do Police Academy movies anymore?
He's showing his age.
Those of you that know Police Academy, you will appreciate it. And honestly, if you're watching this and you know what a Police Academy is, just give it a like just for that sake. just for the fact that there's goobers out here still referencing it.
As old as us.
But another nice little interlude that I liked, and a nice tidbit, was when the stormtrooper is, he's going through the rubble, and Vader's picking himself out of it, and he sees Vader without his helmet, and Vader's just like, crack.
That was kind of the
best thing you see.
No one must witness my face.
Mm-hmm.
Just levitates his helmet onto his head.
His hamburger skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White skull.
And the final frame where you've just got Vader marching out, and troopers on these speeder bikes that Luke has just, it's like, okay, fine, we can fight you on these grounds. Boom. I loved it. It was great.
I really did love the comic. I think Jordan did give a good, did kind of give a good point where he was like, because for a second there, it seems like, so so far in the series, we know that they've destroyed the Death Star and the rebels are kind of like gung ho, like they're almost a little bit too arrogant.
Yeah.
And then it seems like Luke Skywalker almost comes to a point where he's like, okay, yeah, maybe we did kind of like
jump the gun,
and then he just goes, oh, but I can shoot womp rats, and then so it's kind of like
it was kind of so bad.
Like there was like a very strong point of character development right there, and then it just kind of went. So yeah. I do kind of see. I still totally recommend it. Even though Yeah.
My one big gripe about this issue was the Vader Luke showdown, because I think that the fact that I was really hoping that Luke would just say, okay, yes, Obi-Wan, yes, Ben, get the hell out of here. And I understand that at his point in character development that he would ignore that, but I think that the fact that he's facing off with Vader at this point in time kind of diminishes. I mean, if you're watching, if you take the whole thing in sequence, like if you watch New Hope and then you read these comics and then you watch Empire, I think that interaction would diminish the impact of the battle at the end of Empire between Luke and Vader.
Yeah.
Because that's your first real interaction between them. That's your first clashing of Jedis. And I don't know. I thought it was kind of premature. I thought it introduced the Vader-Luke conflict a bit too early for the storyline.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if we really wanted to get in depth about these, we'd go watch the movies.
Yeah.
Like now or, soon, because he tests a trap on Han Solo that he set for Luke. But so he knows of this. He knows of Luke's existence in the films.
Right.
I don't remember the point he kind of realizes. I mean, I think even in Star Wars, he's like, the Force is strong with this one when he's flying behind him.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's got an inkling, but this issue right here says that he doesn't know that pilot was Luke.
Yeah.
So you're saying Jason Aaron messed up the writing?
Then he's going to be thinking that there's two guys out there that are strong with the Force that are
strong enough in the Force to
surely. I don't know. I think he would have put it together right then and there that this was the guy who was strong in the Force who popped the Death Star.
Exactly. I mean,
should have made that connection.
Who else is? I mean, they've wiped out all other Force-sensitive beings for the most part with Order 66, basically, right?
Yeah, you two fools need to sit back.
You could go on for an hour about this.
You need to sit back, relax, enjoy the comic.
I can't. I don't think I can. Here's another problem.
Let the Force take you out.
Here's another problem. It's something that happens every once in a while.
Stop it!
It has to do with the comic.
Okay.
We're reading comic books right now, and a lot of what we're reading here is science fiction that is written by people that love Star Wars, that became science fiction writers because of Star Wars. And they've made such advancements to the genre that when you go back and you do a comic book on something that came out in 1970s, film, it's like we've advanced so much. We've gone. It's almost like I don't want to say it's better, but
I think he's being a little bit disrespectful, George Lucas.
Books are always better than movies, right? Comic books, when they're done well, not as good as just flat out literature like novels can do, but they can put you in a world where you're immersed in an experience better than movies, because movies you're just watching it, you're there, you get some immersion.
Literature.
Yes, and because you're using your imagination in a book, it's more immersive than a comic, and a comic's more immersive than a film. So when you've got comics that are being written that are science fiction that are really, really enjoyable and out there with ideas and, you know, the art and the surroundings and atmosphere, it's just, we've kind of gone past the Star Wars films, the original 3 anyway, I think. I mean, you read Avengers and New Avengers now, and parts of Infinity is better science fiction than this. It's trippier. Wow. It's got cooler sequences. It's got.
Well, no, I agree. I agree. As far as the definition of science fiction is concerned.
Sure, that's why.
Right now, this is, well, Star Wars was never really science fiction. It was more space opera.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll give it that. I think I
do think that.
I don't know.
I think that's why I didn't enjoy it as much as you guys did, because I think this up, I just read a bunch of Infinity.
Maybe you just don't enjoy that type of genre, that specific God, what am I trying to say?
Well, I have Star Wars comics.
Yeah,
from Dark Horse that are about, you know, other characters that they made.
Yeah.
And just to break in here, I am kind of pissed off that they completely dissolved or disavowed that entire body of work from the Star Wars canon.
It's a Wright's nightmare, dude. Dark Souls.
I know, but there was a lot of really good stuff there.
Yeah, there is.
That and the Timothy Zahn stuff and all of that, just nope.
Yeah. Well, really, what else is like Star Wars in culture? I mean,
in culture, nothing.
You got
the gun, at least as far as American culture goes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you know, they're having to try and figure it out, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's a shame that rights issues have to dictate what's. I don't know. Never mind. That's a.
And now we've come full circle. Because now you're talking about
on the Avengers. That's an issue and a topic for another issue and another episode. So.
Please.
So the whole Star Wars number 2. Unanimous thumbs up?
No, I'm gonna drop it.
I like
You're gonna drop it?
No, I really like it. I think if anyone is even a little bit of a fan of Star Wars, then they will enjoy this.
I thought it was way too campy. I thought it was way too campy.
Mm-mm.
I thought it was gloriously campy, and that's why I'm going to go ahead and recommend it.
For our next issue, we've been wanting to get into this series for a while.
Yes!
All the hype and how good it's supposed to be and how good it really is.
Here we go.
Saga. And after a 3-month hiatus,
yes,
they're back with a gatefold covered issue 25.
Look at that. Isn't that nice?
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Hit me.
Oh, so sorry.
Don't do...
Ow! Good issue. Solid. You know, I miss drive-in theaters. I think there's supposed to be one around here, but they're so awesome. Anyways, you get a little bit of backstory. That's pretty cool.
Drive-in theaters.
Yeah.
You can always find somebody with a little something around the drive-in theater.
Milk duds?
Just to enhance, you know, the experience.
Reese's
Pieces.
I'll tell you about the Apache later.
Okay, the Apache. You got 2 wonderful creators here, Brian K. Vaughan.
Mm-hmm.
You get really intriguing characters that are just really human, despite having fantastic facial features and horns and, you know, anatomy, crazy alien anatomy. You get some wonderful characterization
Yep.
and development, and Fiona Staples' art is incredible. It's gorgeous, lush vistas, and the colors are just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why we waited so long, but we're finally in it, and I look forward to catching up. We got to get the other trades, and it's a good point to jump in, kind of, because you get a little bit of the backstory. But then you also want to know, like, who are all these characters? Where are they coming from? Why are they getting peed on by a dragon?
Yeah.
Why are they speaking Esperanto? Viva la Revolution!
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually kind of a team book.
Indeed.
You get the team of revolutionaries at the end, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Who those folks are.
Yep.
What'd you think, Dave?
This is absolutely and entirely my kind of weird, and I loved every single panel of it.
Dude, wait till you get to read the other books, man.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm kicking myself for having not been aware of and been following this from the beginning. It's just,
trades are available.
Oh yes, pick them up. I will be doing so. But as someone who has zero knowledge of what Saga is all about and dropping into it in this issue, I am 100% completely sold. I'm lamenting the fact that I haven't been picking it up and following it.
Well, this is the first issue in 3 months, so Team Squad wasn't even formed.
That's true.
So, yeah. This is the first issue that's come out since we've been doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I will definitely be picking up the previous issues. However, I may be able to acquire them, and I will be following this from
4 trades.
On. 4 trades. All right, yeah, I will be getting them. I recommend that you get them as well if you're into the whole psychedelic cyber psycho universe that this thing represents. It's everything that you thought that reality could be, and then it turns it up a notch or two and pulls the plug.
These dials go to 11.
Saga number 25. It's here, everybody. We've been waiting for it. It is how can we describe this? It's weird, it's fresh,
sublime.
It's very sublime. It's something a little bit different, but for people who've been following it, it's familiar. We got a fantastic writer and a very cool artist. The art almost like reminds me of like cells from an animated feature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Indeed, yes.
It's like very. It's so freaking. It's,
Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like you got the great use of color, but it's at the same time it's the colors, like the shading and the highlights are very limited, but it totally works. You got the part where it's talking about the backstory and it's all black and white, and it totally like it works with what it's talking with the era that it's talking about in the book. And then you just got the weirdness of the book, and you got some very original characters. You don't have your typical type of superheroes.
No, not at all.
You got the horns. It's very original. It's a fresh type of idea.
It's creating its own universe.
Yeah. The love the concepts in here, and it's been very hyped for a long time, but that is for a reason, because it is that good. So I really like it. You got some great panels in here, and it's just enough detail along with the coloring that it really brings you into that into these worlds, and they are very original. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Pretty cool stuff, man. If this is your type of thing, it is a little bit for the more mature audience. So,
Indeed,
you know,
it is.
yeah,
Parental discretion is advised.
absolutely. Yeah, if you don't want to buy this for your 11-year-old, but
That should just go unsaid when it comes to Team Squad, for crying out loud sakes.
right,
Parental advisory.
we don't care.
Yeah, slapped on your forehead.
Oh,
Crap! The gravity generator gave out.
Repair the centrifuge.
That
Get a hold
was-
of yourself.
No, we have established normalcy.
I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
It's
You
a matter of
never.
speaking.
You never listen to me. I hate you.
Who are you talking?
I'm sorry, man. I can't help it. And there's a 3.5 hour delay on communications.
Get a room, you two.
Saga number 25.
My pick of the week.
Saga number 25. Get a room with it.
Yeah. And just love it and cherish it. Keep it warm on the cold winter nights. My favorite book of the week, honestly,
Yeah.
by far.
You liked it that much.
Oh yeah, it's great. We should have been reading it years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I have. I've got them all.
Listen here, you. I'm gonna cut you. So that leads us to book 3 for the week.
Which is the mighty Black Vortex.
Black Vortex. What?
Huh?
Where?
Huh? I was disappointed in the fact that you only really get to see Venom. I mean, this Venom has had kind of a paradigm shift in his backstory and his character and
It's been pretty
new
important.
suit. New
yeah.
powers. And this is the first time we're seeing him after that issue,
Right.
and he's in the corner of 3 pages.
Yeah,
Corner.
that is true. That's a
doing
good
hardly
point.
anything. I was really disappointed with that because I was looking forward to seeing Venom, and there's very obvious page breaks where Ed McGuinness is not doing the art. You've got Chris Anka, who has done some other stuff.
Mhm.
It sounds familiar, I know, but he's just not Ed McGuinness. I mean, nobody really is, but you can tell where Ed's art begins. I mean, Ed's art ends and Chris's begins. It's kind of just,
Right.
kind of jarring.
Yeah.
And his line work's not as good, not as dynamic, not as
Mhm.
manga-esque,
Yeah.
sort of hyper manga.
I get like the weight in the inks,
Mm-hmm.
especially the ones that outline the characters. You can
Mhm.
totally tell the difference in that because like in certain parts of the anatomy will disappear, will turn from a very strong weight to nothing, to disappear.
Wow.
Like
That's nice.
like the forearms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's really that's something that's really awesome that McGuinness does really freaking good.
It's not
So-
common in
No,
the comic book world.
no, it's not common in the comic book
Yeah,
world.
we like him a lot.
Yeah,
Chris Anka, not so much. But
yeah. Not to diss on him or anything, but
sure, I wouldn't want to follow Ed McGuinness's art either.
I mean, when you put one artist right next to another of that,
It's pretty disruptive.
yeah, it's very obvious.
It breaks your concentration on it, and it takes you out of it. You lose
Yeah.
immersion.
Yeah,
It's just kind of an all-out slugfest, all these goobers. Anytime you get Beast, more than one Beasts
yeah,
in the thing, I'm sold.
Uh-huh.
He's one of my faves. Venom,
yeah,
Storm, the young X-Men. It's pretty cool to
Yeah.
have those characters all together. It'll be good to see how it develops.
yeah.
Indeed.
We'll be picking up the subsequent issues.
Yes, we will. Yeah,
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
really knocked my socks off.
yeah.
All right.
One of the things that I kind of want to touch on is like, so you got the Guardians of the Galaxy squad, which is pretty much all the Guardians of the Galaxy. Then you got the X-Men team, which feels really more like a squad because because you don't have
they're not the X-Men team. They're the all new X-Men. The
and
time displaced X-Men.
Yeah.
And the writer, he can't do anything about this. You know, he has to be
Right.
You know, he has to whatever's available to him. That's what he has to work with. But it's like, and some of the other series that's going on right now, I kind of have the same argument. Like the X-Men right now, they just have so many of their heavy hitters are missing. You know,
Sure.
Like it's just so, you know, Cyclops is. I mean, he's not gone, but he's not.
He's in self-exile.
Yeah, exactly.
Havoc, same.
Wolverine's gone. You know, there's just
Wolverine's dead. Havoc is suffering from the effects of the inversion.
Exactly.
Kidnapper.
Yeah. So anything, and it's really unfortunate. You know, anytime you try to do a crossover right now and X-Men's involved, you got Beast and Storm. You know,
I like those two,
which are both really cool. You know, you can't go
Yeah.
wrong with them. But you know, when you say X-Men, automatically in your mind, who do you see? You see Wolverine,
Storm,
you see
Beast.
Cyclops.
Grey, Storm,
You see Professor X. You know,
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
So you know, they did introduce a Celestial right at the very beginning of the comic, and the Celestials have always been very mysterious beings. You know, they've been in the Marvel universe. Yeah, they're always really super crazy powerful, but nobody really knows what the deal is with them. You know,
they do. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they like impregnate planets to make new Celestials or whatever, but it's like
tinker with life forms.
Yeah, they do all this weird stuff, but there's not really. They have like the Marvel universe hasn't really given a very solid definition to what they are or what they do. Yeah, they're very mysterious. So that
like the Builders' mysterious older brothers.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh,
the Builders.
Oh. So you know.
Until you find out about the Builders, Dave.
That appeals to me a lot that they put a Celestial in here. Love McGinnis's art.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is a little bit. It is kind of. How do I describe it? It's kind of bouncy, vibrant, kind of more
very dynamic.
A little bit cartoony, but not to the point where it's Disney-ish. It's still comic bookish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great anatomy. Great expressions with the faces.
Very, very vibrant. Yeah.
You know, can't say anything
larger than life.
Bad about McGinnis. Yeah. But like Jordan said, there's a very obvious break where it goes to a different artist. So you know, that's gonna happen sometimes with Marvel.
But there were a lot of really good, very beautiful panels.
Oh yeah.
Like the story, I mean, there's a crazy artifact. It gives somebody powers. It's like it's just nothing, you know, like.
It's not very intriguing.
Yeah, when you think of Guardians, I mean, you know, like as far as sci-fi and crazy weird stuff, like really right now, Avengers is more Guardians of the Galaxy than Guardians of the Galaxy is. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like as far as like weird craziness.
That stuff's gonna blow my mind.
Of course, because that's where they're tying the whole reset the world thing into.
Yeah. So I mean,
not to mention, Remender and Hickman are really good writers.
Yeah. So basically, sum it up. You know, I like most of the the art that McGinnis did. It's top notch, beautiful, great. The story is kind of your average comic book. There's a crazy weird relic, you know, and
a villain gets a hold of it.
A villain exactly. You know,
super powered trooper.
So it's not anything different. It's not anything new. You know, like as far as story goes, it's still a good, cool kind of like. I mean, you know, it's like your normal comic book stuff.
Interesting. Yeah. We'll see where it goes.
I mean, it's not nothing crazy, but it's still all right. You know.
Marvel crossover. It's got to be totally excellent from beginning to end, right? We're gonna love it.
Well, I don't know. A couple of the high points for me.
It's average. Yeah. I'd say mediocre.
Well, I don't know. An interesting point. They started out. The introduction of the Guardians crew is they're playing a
quote
unquote version of D&D
Tabletop game, yeah.
And that actually kind of ties into what the Black Vortex is for
That's
everyone.
I hadn't thought about that.
That is kind of cool.
Everyone's they're playing this game and they're projecting themselves into these characters. So then they're presented with an artifact that allows them to be what they're projecting themselves to aspire to.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point.
And I really liked the grandma's kids or whatever. I don't know.
That was very funny.
I don't know. That was a really, really nice little interlude that I thought was really telling. Was that these, whatever the hell species that they are, they seem to have the ability to see whoever they're looking at through the lens of the Black Vortex. These little alien kids. Where is it? Is it? These are the good guys in the cosmos. They're gonna protect Spartax, and the little kid, and he's looking at him, and he sees Beast and Archangel and Gamora as their Black Vortex mirror selves.
Maybe. Those three have been villains before. All three of them.
I don't know. I'm just looking at it through the art because
when's Storm been a villain?
it ends with Gamora being the first of the group
to
be
changed,
transmogrified through the Black Vortex mirror.
They have been all
I think that he was just seeing the fact that all three of those people were villains that have been villains at different, in different universes and different realities and
multi
propensity for villainy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
possibly.
Well, I really liked it prefaced it with the fact that the Black Vortex mirror has the power to completely corrupt a species.
Oh yeah, down to the last
to drive it to
it almost seems
absolute.
It almost seems like that's
efficiency.
Purpose is.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
It seems like that's what that Celestial does. He creates something that
Okay, so do you think that the Black Vortex mirror is an artifact generated from that particular Celestial that's planted itself on that planet?
Maybe his purpose for being there was to wipe them out.
It kind of seems like that's like the Celestial did kind of create
or
the
have
Black
them
Vortex,
have them
right?
all. Yeah, somebody.
I mean, is it does he have some sort of meta evolutionary agenda?
Oh, they all do.
Mm-hmm.
All the Celestials usually do.
Yeah.
His seems to be, I'm going to give this planet something, and I'm going to have them fight over it until there's only one left, and then my job's done, and I'm going to another planet.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
It's a theory. I don't know.
Yeah, in the past, there have been certain Celestials that have a purpose. There's like the Gardener, the Destroyer, the
Executioner, who only seems to really be good at getting killed himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is this one?
We don't know.
We haven't seen that. Yeah, that's a brand new.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with him.
I'm not either. But
I've never.
We may have seen him before, but I don't.
And then we've got this crazy big 2-page spread where it's everybody grappling against each other and.
Oh yeah, all the heroes and the villains they just end up going at it at that. Yeah.
Don't let them get the Black Vortex.
Yeah.
And Shadowcat.
I like to call it the 20 head.
The page of 20 heads.
Page of 20 heads.
So for next week we have.
Next week is a good week, everybody.
Be a good week.
Woo!
Monumentous week.
Yes.
Amazing Spidey, number 14, the penultimate chapter of Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. Yes!
Black Vortex Chapter 2 will be in Guardians of the Galaxy number 24.
We're going to definitely check that out.
Thor number 5, hot on the heels of Thor number 4.
That's right, hot and hard.
And
Darth Vader number 1 for you Star Wars fans.
Star Wars fans, here we go.
Yeah.
Good stuff next week. Everybody, you got to tune into Team Squad because we got just what you want.
And some of what you don't want and some of what you didn't know you wanted.
Yeah.
It's a bargain.
It's, you get it all in one bag. It's a discount.
Delicious combo.
Yeah.
Geekiness.
Don't worry. Just keep tuning in. Yeah.
Like next week for another episode of Team
Squad, everybody. Oh, yeah.